Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Netters Network Thursday Things. We have a special guest backstage, but before I bring them on board, let me introduce to you my co-host for the evening, the love of my life. You know, Myst, that guy at the end of the bar. I almost said Friday Night Last Call. Oh, yeah, he is the host of Friday Night Last Call. It's like, yeah, I'm a little tired, can you tell? The love of my life. Troy Pacelli, how you doing tonight, sweetie? And what are you sipping on?
I am doing well. Thank you for asking. Having myself a Crystal Light.
Oh, particular flavor?
I think it's pomegranate.
Huh? Okay, well, I know you like
It's
pomegranate.
red.
Looking at the label, yes, it's pomegranate.
There you go.
I currently I'm finishing off a Meyer brand sparkling water lemon. No, it's not a sponsored stream. I wish they'd sponsor me. I drink their water all the time. So this one's a lemon. I have berries standing by in case I wanted to change flavors. So I have those. So let's see who we have here in the chat. First up was Tina, the Naughty Dragon. Love the name because I love dragons. Saying hello to everyone. I'm a friendly dragon. I don't eat too many people in chat of Dadman's chat family come to visit yours for the evening. Oh, that's sweet. Thank you for being here and welcome. We also have Curtis Selby saying hello to everyone. Oh, actually saying hello to Tina the Naughty Dragon. But I'm sure he means hello to everyone else too. We have FKHC2005, also known as Tim, in the chat. I don't know, everyone pauses before saying Tim, but they do. I know it's some sort of shtick, but...
I'll have to play that Monty Python clip for you.
Okay. We have Connie Clear saying hello to everyone. Let's see. We got Curtis already. Deleted Scenes giving his salute. And of course, like, share, and subscribe, please. Excuse me. Let's see. I do have our special guests link pinned to the top of the chat, so it's right there for you. But Delete Sins is reminding everyone to subscribe to our special guest. We have Big Al saying, have a great show, my friends. He just binged Cobra Kai. Now the long wait till November. It's like, okay, Big Al. You must have liked it if you watched the whole thing. Let's see. Oh, we got Bucky's Crafting. How you doing? I know I've seen you in my chat before. Welcome. Let's see. We have this fellow, DadManWalking. Why is that name familiar? Let's see. Anybody else? And we have the last call saluting me. What, you don't love me anymore? Now you're just giving me salutes?
I'm tired too.
I know, it's been a very long week. Let's see. Scrolling. Enigma Severus, how you doing, sweetie? He is now a regular channel member, or chat member for us, or what we call him, friend of the channel. So we see him all the time now, and I'm happy to have the new face here. And I think that gets me to the bottom. Oh, he says, I finally figured out what the 07 looks like. Yeah, it's supposed to be a salute. And I think Deleted Scenes said that he got that from somebody else. What was it, like Tom Connors or something? So, it's like, yeah, that's what that is. So, let me... trying to hide the comment. There we go. So, our special guest has been on before, but we're going to bring him back in because we want to know what he's been up to since the last time he was on. Now, a couple weeks ago, we did have Mrs. Dadman walking on, so now we're going to hear from the husband. How you doing tonight, sweetie? And what are you sipping on?
Hello, good evening, Netters. How are you? As always, great to talk to you. And Troy, obviously great to see you too. I am drinking, well, I have to be nice. I don't make my own sweet tea anymore, but it's a Milo's 0-calorie sweet tea with the artificial stuff, you know.
Huh?
So it's sugar-free. So, yeah, got me some iced tea and in my Dallas Cowboy little glass. So I'm happy sipping on that with a little Mounds bar next to me, too. So.
Oh, nice.
interesting combination. But I've been good. How have you been doing since we last talked?
Oh, I've been doing well. This week has just been really busy for me and Troy because we both work from home. So it's like we're going pretty much right from working from home to going to our streams,
No,
or
yes.
or getting them set up or something, So, yeah, it's been very busy. And of course, we are streaming either on our own channels or on other people's channels as co-hosts every day of the week except Wednesday. Currently,
I thought I was busy, but man, y'all are busier than anything else. And let me say hello. Let me say thank you to Deleted Scenes, who I don't always get notifications when I have a new subscriber, but Deleted Scenes is now subscribed, which puts me at 655. I got a nice balanced number. I'm at a 5.
Yeah, I think
Fives and
Connie
zeros.
Cleary
Yes.
also said she subbed to you.
Oh yeah, see, Connie Clear's always been with me and the missus, and the missus is two away from 250. So yay! I know she enjoyed her
Awesome.
visit with you too. That was a fun conversation, sitting in the background watching you guys talk.
Well, you could have joined. In fact,
Oh, I
if
would-
the missus is around, she can join you. I don't mind.
Okay, well maybe another time. Because see, actually, on that case, I like for her to shine on her own, and it's kind of like put her in the spotlight because she's not always comfortable being in the spotlight, and sometimes I talk too much, and it was good to see her and y'all interacting and people getting to see her herself. And I would say that, but I am at my secret location now. She's back at home, probably passed out because she just drove home 6 hours today after being gone all week. She worked a food donation truck this week out in the Florida heat.
Oh, wow.
And in one day she almost overdid it with the give out. She said she thought she almost had heat stroke. She was so wiped out one day. So
I've had that. It's not fun. The best thing really for her to do if she's going to be out in the heat for any length of time is put a cold pack on the back of her neck. That'll help regulate her temperature so that she's not feeling as hot.
And I think she took all those preps, but you just can't prepare yourself fully for the Florida sun and heat and humidity. And but she's better. I think it's just been a long week, and I would be surprised if she's not asleep now.
Goodness. So now, you mentioned Florida. So do y'all live in Florida or just nearby?
No, in Florida. We're in Florida, North Florida.
Okay. Yeah, so Agent Boomer actually lives in Florida.
Oh, really?
I forget what part, but he's in Florida somewhere.
Yeah, we have it all. We have all the heat, humidity. We don't get winter here where we are. It only snowed one time in 1989.
Wow.
But I remember where there was actually measurable snow where it laid on the ground. Yeah, the whole town's shut down, really.
I have a picture to go, snow. I've never seen snow.
We've seen it fall. We've seen it fall a few times, but this year it actually shut the city down at Christmas. Talking about a white Christmas, it truly was for 3 days. Cars in the ditches, people parked on the interstate, just abandoning their cars everywhere.
And there's a friend of mine who was in the military in Colorado, and it snowed one day, and they weren't sure what to do with that. And I mean, it was like less than an inch. It was like a half inch or something, he said. And they shut down the entire town where he's at. Mm-hmm. And he said him and the other guy from Illinois were just doing donuts in the parking lot. And everyone else is like, what are you all doing? Get in here. You're going to freeze to death. And they're just laughing at him. It's like, this is nothing.
Yep, exactly. Oh, and hey, a side note too about Tim out there at KC. Troy, you were right, exactly. Ever since Tim has come into our chats and stuff, I think that very thing from Monty Python, that hesitation. It's like he's like, call me Tim, and ever since then, it's like they call me Tim. From that movie. Very iconic scene.
Yeah, well, so I gotta actually play that for Netter, so because what happens is she sees the meme because he shares it whenever we have a rewatch. It's like his greeting, but it's just the GIF, right? There's no sound to that, and I can kind of hear it in my own head, but I don't know that Netter is actually if she hasn't seen it,
If I've seen it, I don't remember it.
it might have been a while.
It's
so.
like that one where it's like, oh, hi, Mark. He showed me.
We haven't even seen The Room yet. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it's like, but he showed me the whole scene leading
Yeah.
up to that, and then slightly beyond. So I'm like, oh, okay, now that makes sense. So, and what's funny is we have a friend named Mark who often comes into our chats. So it's just kind of funny to go, oh, hi, Mark.
Yeah. Well, it's funny, that movie, you said you hear it. I don't only hear it, I visualize it. I mean, I got that scene frozen in my head with him at the Brit. It's one of those things that gets stuck in your head and you can't get out.
Yeah, or certain things where you're hearing it or reading it in somebody else's voice, because like that sounds like something like Morgan Freeman would say. So you're hearing it in his voice when you're reading the whatever it is.
Yeah. Just ask my wife though. Ask me to remember something important. Forget it. It's obscure movie quotes and stuff. Yeah, I'm all over that.
Oh, we have Tim the Enchanter joining us. It's like. Are you friends with Tina the Naughty Dragon? Because, it sounds like you guys would go hand in hand. We also have Stardate Trivia, who's joined us in the chat. Welcome, sweetie. So it's like, and I don't think I've seen Tim before, so now I'm going to have to make a quick detour over to his channel to...
Hello, Tim.
Subscribe. I was like, what's that word? Okay, so Tim, I just subbed to you. And actually, let me see if I'm subbed to Tina. The name sounded a little familiar, so it's like I might have already been subbed to her, but let me just double check. No, I'm not. So, Tina, I am subbed to you, and Tim, I am subbed to you.
Yay.
I got 2 enchanted persons that I just subbed to.
There you go.
There you go. You always got to have a dragon on your side, though.
I like Tim saying, I may be the same person. So, since the last time you have been on, any new projects, anything like that come up? And hi, Samuel Proctor.
Well, one of the things that we have started is something we called, I've always done Fortnite. And I've actually had a different angle on it with, I like doing different groups and stuff. The Myst and I usually play as date night, or just the two of us that really played a lot. I've done times where we played chaos groups and stuff, but one of the newer things we did is what we call Fortnite with Dadman and the Divas, or Dadman's Divas, and we have the Mrs., who we say is HR as the Queen Diva. Of course, Bucky's Crafting is our accounting department, and our friend Lady V Elements is our advertising department. And we just go and play Fortnite with that. That's really been good. We've had a couple times where we've done that, and we've had a lot of fun with that. That's probably the newest thing that we've done. A lot of the same stuff, with the random impromptu streams. Like I was saying before, with stuff with life going on right now, I've been more into streaming as I can at the moment. And it's the stuff that the algorithms don't really like, but it's just you do what you can as you can, when you can.
Yeah.
And but usually Wednesdays and Fridays about 10 is our main thing, where we do our main squirrel streams. But that's really the main thing. And of course, with August coming up, I plan on getting back into college football, specifically with my annual Southeastern Conference football show, which I'm looking at retooling it, doing it a bit different this year. Because my goal is to get people into, I would like y'all to watch sports, or I try to make sports and football entertaining as much as possible. We try to teach people and stuff like that, and I'm looking to make it not a normal sports type show.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have the geeky sports and the stats and the recaps from games and stuff, but also to talk about how the game's played, things like that, other things that could be of interest. Maybe some news stories. So I'm looking at doing it a little bit different this year, because the past few years, what I'd have is a separate guest on every week. Usually try to theme them in with teams playing in big games that week, and use that as a way to interact with people, kind of learn more about the other side of my team, the Florida Gators are playing, things like that, and try to go beyond just the normal sports, facts and figures. So that is something that we've got to. I'm going to have to start spending some time getting ramped up for that. very graphics heavy because my wife had made all the graphics for that from last year. But now with her streaming, guess what? I got to do my own work this year.
Well, it happens. See, now my husband is the guru for getting our thumbnails together and setting up our movie streams and all that, because he does the Cosme link for us. So
Right.
I know from him just how much is involved with all of that. So yeah, have fun.
Yeah, she's put me on the thing of I got to send an email, or she created a form for me to use to give her all the thumbnails I need for the month so she can work ahead nowadays. So
Yeah, I do that with Troy. I'll give him a list of all my upcomings, and then at least he's got the list, and so I'm not asking him last minute for something. But yeah, because I have to give it to him for not only Thursday things, but for my Saturday night rewatches. So I actually have my movies planned out for till the end of the year, because I'm every other week with Big Al, and we own over 1,000 movies. So it's like, okay, well, here's the ones I'm going to be doing. I don't think I've gotten out of H.
oh geez, do you do it alphabetically or?
Yeah, I'm doing it alphabetically. So actually, let me see, where am I? Movies for Richardson. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not out of E. So like my last one of the year will be Ever After. So yeah, since we own so many movies, and I got tired of going, did I do that one yet? Did I do that one yet? I decided just do them alphabetically, and so we've gotten, by the end of the year we will be a couple into the E's. So right now we're in the D's.
Wow. Okay, that's interesting. You're doing that alphabetically. Are you doing every movie in your catalog, or just like certain ones of interest?
There's a couple that it's like, no, we're not going to show this and put people through the hell of watching that one, because it's just that horrible. And I'm skipping. Yeah, and I'm skipping over all the TV series.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's like for the most part, it's alphabetical. I said, just the movies that are like, especially if it's one I don't know, I'll ask Troy, and it's like, hey, what about this one? And he'll say, oh, no, that one's a bad movie, or, it's too long, or it's too graphic, or something. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, we won't do that one then.
Yeah, we're looking at trying to do some watch parties. I mean, it's one that people keep asking us about and giving us ideas to do. I think that, I'm more technologically challenged, so the missus, I rely on for a lot of that. So she may actually do it before I do it, but it's something we've been considering because we keep getting a lot of requests for it. There are a lot of movies that we come up that we like to watch with people and stuff. So it's just finding the time and just scheduling it in, and just actually taking that first step, because a lot of times, as what I found out, is that sometimes just taking that first step is the big thing that opens the door.
Right.
Once you do it and get used to it.
Exactly. If you are going to be showing movies, I would suggest getting Cosme, because that's what we use. Yeah. And then this way you won't be getting any sort of copyright strikes or anything for showing it.
Right.
And if you need advice on how to use it, you can ask Troy. He's like an expert on this now. I'm sure he won't mind pointing you in the right direction.
Right.
But I got a great name for it.
Yeah.
If you want to do it.
Sure, go ahead.
DadMan Date Night.
All right, kind of like our date night fortnight. Oh, that's awesome. That's a good time. That's a good title. Yeah, I've actually I've been in a Cosme stream or two. Now, the one thing that I've noticed is I guess you probably have to mod it. You have to be careful. I've seen trolls get in.
Oh, Troy has settings on his.
I've figured that out, unfortunately. Yeah.
We had gotten one troll that decided to start posting a bunch of naughty pics, and they weren't even good naughty pics. They were really bad. It's like, is that a monkey part? We weren't sure what it was. It was ugly, and it's like, I don't think that's human. So he had to adjust the settings so that only people who are registered can put gifts or whatever in, and so those are our regular members. So it's like, if we can't see your name, you can't post.
See, I've also seen a second way. It was more done as a member watch party, member watch stream, where they used it in StreamYard as a webinar.
Oh.
And I think that way you can control who gets the link and come in that way, which to me seems to be a really interesting way to do it, especially for controlling who attends. But then again, I don't know all that's involved. I don't know if you have to pay more than usual for StreamYard. See, we invested in the $25 a month StreamYard thing. We when my kids started doing their, trying to get them into podcasting, we went ahead and paid for it because we knew we would eventually use it. So, and it was just, if you're going to use it, that's kind of why we figured you get up to 10. There are advantages to using it, so we took it to the greatest extent that we could. But it would be interesting to see how the two different processes work.
Yeah, it's like I have the free StreamYard, so I don't know how doing the webinar thingy might work. Maybe Troy has something like that for his, because his is the paid one.
Right.
But I don't know how that would work. And if it's inviting people in, you can only do like up to 10, I think.
Right.
And so that would be a very small group. Whereas for our Cosme, we can have however many in.
You can only have 10 on the panel, but people can actually watch it within the webinar. You can have as many number of people watching it in the webinar. It's just you can't have them on the panel. I don't know how it works. I just know I've been in one and I've seen it. So it seemed to be an interesting way to do it. Everybody chatting with the group.
Something Troy to check out.
I'll look into it.
Yeah, it might be a paid StreamYard thing, because I know I don't have any options for that.
Right. I know my wife said we may not even, and maybe something you pay a little extra for, but it's an option out there. I always look at all the options. You never know what's out there that could work best.
Absolutely.
All I know is I'm still waiting. What is it, July now? Are y'all familiar with the Fathom events? In the movie theaters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, apparently they have all these classic movies that are returning back to the big screen. In September, they're bringing Blazing Saddles back. So
awesome!
And of course, Tina the Naughty Dragon said, "Dadman is also lovingly known as the Unicorn Daddy" in his chat.
Yes, thank you to my friend Rambling Canuck on my birthday. He doubled down on our unicorn in Fortnite, and then it's like Daddy's 75, and I'm like, dang it, I'm not 75 years old. I'm not that old yet for my birthday, and it took off like a wildfire.
Wow.
That's probably been one of the biggest new developments is I've got the nickname Unicorn Daddy when it comes to Fortnite. So I just need my pimp mobile or something out there for it.
And that's right. You did just have a birthday recently. I remember your lovely wife mentioning it in one of her streams just a couple weeks ago. So happy belated birthday. I know I said happy birthday at the time, but since we were bringing it up, happy belated birthday.
Well, thank you, as always. Appreciate it. Every year, appreciate it.
Yeah, so I figure every day that I'm above ground is a blessing.
Absolutely. I just was noticing our friend Sci-Fi Mombi, another friend of mine, visited Buc-ee's for the first time. Have y'all ever been to Buc-ee's?
We don't have any in Illinois that I'm aware of. I always thought that was a Texas thing.
Well, they started moving out around the country. There's one up in Tennessee, up in the Pigeon Forge area. We were going to go to, but that trip got canceled. Oh man, if you're ever traveling on the road, you definitely got to stop at one. It's
Aren't they like a ginormous grocery store, but they have everything under the sun in there, not just groceries. They've got like sporting goods and home stuff, and
they got different things for homes and stuff like that. Not necessarily sports, but I equate it more to a 7-Eleven on steroids. It's your convenience store type stuff. Oh man, they got a 30-foot long counter of beef jerky of different types and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I definitely gotta go to a Buc-ee's, honey.
Yeah, no kidding.
And Sci-Fi Mommy said Wally's in Illinois. Yes, I've been to Wally's. We found it accidentally. I was driving with my ex. We're going from Illinois to Washington, D.C. And we were going out, Maryland area to visit a friend of ours. And we kept seeing these signs for Wally's. And they're just all along the highway for miles and miles. And we're like, okay, we keep seeing these. We're going to have to stop in there and see what this place is all about. That place was huge. They had everything there. But yeah, so that was an interesting place to stop off.
Hmm. Well, it's we always do. We've actually gone an hour away from us to our the closest one near us just for lunch before.
Oh,
Just drive there, get lunch, and come home. So they got barbecue brisket and stuff like that. We joke because there's an outlet mall right by there, and so we joke that I can bribe the missus into going with me to ride along, and we'll take her to the Vans shoe store outlet, and she can get Vans shoes while I'm getting my barbecue.
oh, you're
So,
making me hungry.
well, that's one thing that always happens with us when I'm around. Food comes up, no matter the stream.
And I love to eat. I'm telling you. It's like now I want some brisket. I want some ribs. Yeah, it's like for those of you who are in Illinois, around my area, and our close friends know exactly where we're at. There is a rib place that we frequent. Well, we frequent as often as we can frequent it, and that's usually like every couple of months or so. It's called Muggs Ribs. Their ribs fall off the bone. They are so tender, and oh my goodness, yeah, it's like now I'm just making myself hungry. So after the show, I'm gonna have to get some food.
Well, we've done that before, where it's 2 o'clock in the morning, and we're like, "Dang it, we got to go to the Waffle House." So, you know.
Yeah, I think there's well, I'm sure it's not the same chain, but there's a waffle place not too far from us, like about 4 miles away. But I don't think they're open 24/7.
Yeah, well, the Waffle House is one of those American national institutions, especially in the South. They go as far west. I think there's one in Arizona, maybe. They don't go too far north. I think we determined Toledo, Ohio might be the furthest north that they go. So our Michigan friends are at a lot. But Kentucky, Tennessee have a lot of them.
Yeah, there's a show I used to watch. It was actually very short lived, called Dead Like Me, and it was basically a story about some reapers. They would they would get assignments to go and take someone's soul before they passed, so they could pass without any pain or anything. And
Right.
they would meet every morning at the Waffle House, and that's where I
Yep.
learned about it.
Oh gosh, that's cool. Yes, it's just one of those places. If you've ever been there, if you've never been there, you got to stop there at least once. Some are rougher than others, though. So,
Yeah, it's like if we ever go past a Waffle House, honey, we gotta stop in because
Absolutely.
we gotta see if
Yeah.
if it lives up to the hype. You know.
yeah. No, it's like everything. Every location's different. Some are better than others. I know when we were going to Tennessee, they were a lot more. They were a lot rougher than some of the ones that have been renovated down here and in the bigger cities. But although you never know. There was one night we're like there was an interesting character in the restaurant, and then it was one of those 2 o'clock morning trips, and when I went to the restroom, and then I saw blood everywhere in the restroom, I was like, okay, I'm backing out. So after midnight, you never know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. Enigma Severus says, for some reason I'm reminded Santa Clarita's Diet when you said dead like me because they are zombie type people. Wasn't trying to be disrespectful. I'm not taking it that way, so. Hey, Sashi!
Welcome, Sashi.
Hey, Sashi, yes. Sashi's been a great tender to the Mrs. streams and pounces around on my chat at times. Great to have met him over here.
Yeah, Sashi's a great friend of the channel. Mine, Troy's, H Boomers, Deleted Scenes, Big House. I mean, all of us. It's like we're all, he makes the rounds through all of us. It's like, it's great to have you here tonight. Enigma Severus says, I need the lottery numbers for Friday. What you got?
Yeah, he gets that a lot.
What? It's like, It's like, would it be the same lottery there?
I know,
Well,
it's like,
I
boy,
mean, the idea being he could check our lottery numbers.
Hi, Jessie Cojardo. How you doing, sweetie?
Welcome.
Yes, we're getting more people coming into the chat.
Have you ever? We like to play the game. Miss and I play the game of like if we happen to win one of those big lottery things. What would we do with all that money?
Move out of Illinois.
Oh, we're
That
still
would be
trying
the
to do
first thing we do.
that. Yeah, we're still trying to figure out how we can move out of here because I grew up in Illinois. I've lived here my whole life, but it has gotten so bad here. I mean, between the politics and the city of Chicago, it is now like downtown Detroit. I won't go downtown Chicago.
No, it's
I'd be afraid
Chirac
of getting
now. Yeah.
killed, getting shot, because it's gotten so bad there. It's like, I want to move to Texas, because then I can carry my weapon, and I'll fit in with everybody else, because everyone's got a weapon.
Well, see, if it's anything like a lot of the other states, I mean, it seems like, don't get me wrong, I mean, maybe that's like the southern part, the more rural areas are a little more quote, normal or laid back, but it's once again the big cities that control everything, and they drive the rules for everybody else, not just where they are, and and it's unfair, if y'all want to live one way, live that way, and then leave us alone in where we are. But yeah, you guys have had a lot of stuff up there in Illinois. It just seems like it gets more and more worse and worse all the time. But hey,
yep.
Although we joke down here, I try to avoid a lot of politics and stuff on my channel and stuff like that. But I will say that we do joke sometimes about putting a big wall up at the border with, okay, y'all can come down here, but make sure you don't leave your politics back there. If you're going to change the way we like to do things, just don't come down here, because we're happy.
Well.
But, yeah.
Okay. Trying to think of something I haven't asked you previously. Because I know last time you were on the stream, we asked you how you got your channel name and how you started your channel.
Yep.
And different things you're doing. So, do you have any projects coming up that you want to talk about?
Well, like I said, we got college football stuff coming up.
Right.
Specifically, I focus on the Southeastern Conference, which now this year is a lot. Listen, the world of college football, folks, it's not just sports ball. It's the business side of it has changed the game immensely. It's not like it used to be with a lot of tradition and all. It's the University of Texas and Oklahoma have now joined the Southeastern Conference. Conferences have realigned in the Pac-12, which is the Pacific West Coast now has exploded and basically imploded. Most of the teams have gone to the two different other conferences. Some are now part of the Atlantic Coast Conference on the other side of the U.S. So there's so much dynamic changes in the world of football. So my goal is to get people interested in football, with the stats, the games, some of the stories and stuff. But there's a lot more to football there than just what you see on the field. And that's one of the biggest things. That's been my passion. And that's one of the things that have set why I got into the streaming. And as you can see from the avatar, it's a combination of Fortnite, which is the banana peely, and the football, my kid made. So, that's one of the biggest things I've got coming up where I've got to make some adjustment. In terms of new projects, I'm always looking to do stuff primarily of things of interest me. We take pride right now in our squirrel streams which is my late night with Dad Man and Friends, where we just basically, the whole point is we just focus on having fun. We joke before, I think one of the first times it took us like 3 or 4 shows to finish us talking about breakfast cereals, and in 3 hours we talked about 30 different topics. That's like truly bouncing tree to tree, nut to nut, just all over the place. And that's what we that's what we do. That's what we do. I did see a question out in the chat that I could take if you want me to.
Sure. Mm-hmm. I must have missed it. Where?
It was Stardate trivia. Am I a Star Trek or Star Wars man? Definitely Star Wars.
There we go.
Completely Star Wars. I have actually tried watching Trek, and I like the Star Trek animated series. That was really cool. My wife and I used to, we would watch our friend Clobber Times on Saturday night a lot. And we got into some of the Star Trek. I think it was a really cool way to do it, and it was a lot of fun. But deep down, I'll always be a Star Wars guy. Just the science fantasy side of it. It was a different type of show. The bang bang pew pew. My Trek fans and I always joke about that. That there's not enough bang bang pew pew for me in a Star Trek episode. But Star Wars really to me, because of Star Wars was a childhood memory. It's the one movie that I ever remember watching with both my parents and my paternal grandparents in a movie theater. that I actually went with them, and so it's always held a special part of my heart. And also, what's even funny, I grew up like tonight where I'm broadcasting from. I've told you about the things with my mom and her health and stuff. I'm taking care of her house. I'm actually at her house tonight, my childhood home. Across the street, I was fortunate to live across the street from these grandparents, and so they were always really, really special. So Star Wars really always meant a lot to me because of that movie, and also getting to live with my grandparents, all the time, spending the night with them, being able to run across the street and see them and all. They really were a real life R2D2 and C3PO. Yeah,
Hey.
and I'm not kidding, because my grandmother was always the uptight, nervous, chattery C3PO. My granddad was the I'm going to do what I do anyway R2D2, and it was
Yeah.
so. And I've made those type of connections with the movie.
Yeah, and of course, if you ever want to talk Star Wars, Troy's your man. It's
Yeah.
like he loves Star. I mean, I can't tell you how much Star Wars stuff we have around the house.
I've very much fallen away from the Disney Star Wars, but anything pre Disney sale.
Yeah,
you're
we
a
have
guy.
the sail barge sitting on our bar. We've got the what's that thing called again?
Razor Crest.
Razor Crest sitting on a different counter. He's got dioramas he's working on. We got Star Wars.
Yeah.
And Jessica
yeah.
Harder said that we are welcome to his town. So I'm guessing
There
you're
you
in
go.
Texas, huh? So you can't say Texas. You have to say Texas.
Well, you guys can come down to Florida too. We trust you guys. You guys can live in
Well,
Florida too.
see,
But
between the hurricanes and stuff, I'm not sure I wanna.
well, I tell you what, honestly, Texas, Louisiana probably get more hurricanes than we do.
Oh, really?
Especially if you come up into Northeast Florida, we generally don't get much of the hurricanes. We get the edges a lot, which a lot of times are the worst part are the tornadoes and spawning. The hurricane winds on the outside are not as bad. My dad always worried more about the tornadoes that spawned up. And we did have one a couple years ago that dropped a downburst in our back that took off our back awning. So yeah, but I still think, don't let the hurricanes scare you off completely. I wouldn't buy near the coast or in a flood zone, but there's plenty of good areas, especially if you like the country, living out in the panhandle and stuff like that. There's a lot of good living down here. So we don't get so many.
I want to make sure that our next house, we still have a nice big yard because we want to get a dog. Have the dog be able to run around, get exercise and all that.
Yep.
And right now we have a huge yard, so it's like we could get a dog, but we have a small house. So.
Yep. There you go. Yeah. Well, with the Star Wars, like Troy, that's interesting to hear that you have that, because that's kind of like what I have. I have a lot. My mom collected stuff for me as a kid back in the 1970s.
Mm-hmm.
Most of what I have are from that era, the 1970s to about 1982 collections and items. So, I mean, that's really the focus of my stuff. My mom was actually the type that would let me play with the stuff and then would box it. When she saw that I was done with it, she boxed it, put it away for me for later down the road. And that really meant a lot to me. So, and it's protected stuff.
I'll tell you, there's an old well, before there were memes, on the internet, I did see someone did a poster at a toy con. It was various GI Joes, and by GI Joes I mean the 70s style 12-inch figures in various action poses, and the across the top and bottom it said, "Old soldiers never die. Your mother threw them away." And there were so many of us that were like, yes, yes. And every now and again, you'd hear the legend of some mother that did exactly what you just described. And it was like, oh gosh, that's a parent that understands.
And then you have my mother, who, when she was moving from her apartment, she was getting removed from her apartment in Illinois to California, because Chicago winters can be kind of tough, and she was getting older, so she wanted to move to California. And she's going through. She goes, "Oh, Troy, I have some Star Wars cards if you want them. I bought these years ago and just put away for the grandkids, but they're not really into this stuff. But I know you like Star Wars. the Star Wars cards she was talking about was 2 full complete sets of the original card backs.
Original 12 cards.
The original 12.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My mom was just calling them cards. So we're thinking like, like
They were worth
trading
at the
cards or
time
something.
about $350 a piece.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, see, my mom got me a lot of the original stuff. I even kept the Twin Pod Cloud Card box, which Retro Blasting, when I made a comment to it, he's like, man, I'm jealous because he was big about the boxes. And I'm like, that's one ship I kept the box with.
Yeah.
But one of the biggest pieces of my mom got me one of the original Millennium Falcons. So, and which one of my collector friends was like jealous. He's like, man, your mom loved you. He for all the stuff he got. He's like, I didn't get that. But yeah, my mom saw ahead of it. My mom saw ahead of it. She knew I liked it. Started buying the stuff. We'd buy a piece at a time as we went to the store. And then she would buy something. It used to be small. She'd save big for Christmas, and things like that. And I did I get everything? No. But I got some really cool stuff. And I learned to appreciate more and more over the years what she did and how she did stuff for me.
Yeah.
And that's meant a lot to me and stuck with me over the years. And I try to make sure to remember it fondly because she could have thrown it away, she could have sold it off. I mean, but my mom saw value in it for down the road. And there's a few things I saw as a kid that I wish I'd picked up, like the one-off mark Boba Fett with I think the launching rocket. There's one Boba Fett that's special, and then there's a Snaggletooth that's like a different color and size.
Yeah.
A couple of those characters that is like, I saw that. Why didn't I keep that? It wasn't mine, but like, dang it, if I could have talked somebody out of that back then, it would have.
Back then, nobody realized how valuable that was. That was it's what is referred to as the blue snaggletooth. It came with it was the first Cantina diorama, and it was exclusive to Sears. You could only find it in the Sears catalog and at Sears stores. And back then, we didn't know about exclusives. We didn't know how that worked. And from Kenner's point of view, it was just a promotion for, it was the first movie. They packaged up, I think it was four creatures from the Cantina. I think it was Hammerhead, Greedo, Walrus Man, and Snaggletooth. And it was this early version of Snaggletooth based on a black and white photograph. Right. And interestingly, it was a photograph from the holiday special. So the costume, the belt buckle, and the costume is the Snaggletooth from the holiday special. But they couldn't see his feet. So all they did was they reused the legs from Greedo and repainted it. They guessed at the color. And that's how it went out. Very shortly thereafter, they realized they were wrong. They were like, okay, so they made new legs to shorten the figure and repainted him red. And that's what hit. And that's also why that particular figure took a long time to get out in distribution. It was a very, very difficult figure to find for a long time.
Right.
And then they kind of flooded the market with it. Yes, very interesting history on these toys.
But you hit something really cool with it, what made Star Wars great back then. See, when the movie started, they didn't expect any of this to happen and take off. I mean, you called them by their real names, Hammerhead. The character card said Hammerhead, Walrus Man. And then later we get Ponababa, we get the Ithorian's name. I can't remember what his name is offhand. Ponababa was Walrus Man. You got all these different things. They all got a name. But see, that's how the expanded universe, from the original movies went out. We got these characters, and they were names. There were even books written in the EU, like the Tales from the Cantina.
Right.
They're Tales from the Cantina, Tales from Jedi, really good stories. There's so much that they did. Everybody wants backstories. Well, they don't have to be long involved. One of the best books that I've read was the Tales from the Cantina. There's so many characters in that scene that had some interesting stories that they were able to develop. Like the one guy sucking on a hookah was from a race of very charming, very deadly bounty hunters.
Yeah.
There's also there's a nymph thing that had you see them like they had a really almost like the old medieval death doctors masks, with the long extended nose. Well, those things would turn around and mate with whatever, and they would eat their male species.
Yeah.
And we see a Gotul in there that was hitting on her. Basically, we found out later in the book. Yeah, the guy he might have had a little pleasure, but he paid for it dearly, kind of like the praying mantises and stuff.
Right,
and that's the things that we see. There were good short stories, and they led to something bigger. And that's why my focus is the old Star Wars, the expanded universe, and it was the EU always good? No, it had its downs. Parts. It had some bad stories, but it still kept the love of the original and kept it going. And to me, the focus is on the Skywalkers and stuff. Now the prequels, I grew to like a little bit more over time, and I think especially as we've seen what's happened since. Are they perfect? No, but they kind of needed to fill in the story to get us to where things were going. That reminds me though, with Disney, and I will say, so a lot of times it's easy to pile on Disney, but I will tell you, we had some good memories of Disney, but usually they predated them buying Star Wars. They used to do something here in Orlando called Star Wars Weekends. And you get your normal theme park to Hollywood Studios, but they added things like you could meet some of the actors if you were there early enough and got into the tickets to be able to meet them and stuff. You could meet the actors, you could ride Star Tours, you could do different types of Star Wars activities. And it was really, really cool thing, but it grew so big over the years. It got so big, it kind of outgrew the park, One year, we actually had a trivia contest that I happened to win. It was and the grand prize was like a $250 die-cast metal Republic gunship.
Wow.
Even the clone troopers were die-cast metal in it, and they came with a certificate of authenticity and stuff. And our kids grew up on those and actually were on TV and stuff like that. So there's a lot that they did right over time and stuff. But it's just in terms of the new stuff, I'm like you. The new stuff, I've tried with the new TV show. I did with Ahsoka. I tried to watch that, but it was just bad television. I mean, it just was bad. I don't know if you tried to see any of the new shows, but.
You mean the Disney shows?
Yeah, the Disney shows. Yeah.
I started watching, and honestly, after a while, I just realized I was wasting my time. It was just making me angry, and I just stopped. It wasn't worth. Let's just say it wasn't worth the bandwidth because I don't subscribe. I never have subscribed to Disney Plus.
Yeah. And I just and Anders, I don't know how you think with the whole Star Wars universe, but it's like where I've tried, it just made no sense. But then again, you hear about Boba Fett being like a side character in his own series, and then Han Solo gets like it's a sucker's death, and we wait 40 years and we see him just get eliminated in the first movie out. Like what? And really in a bad way, So. Tina had mentioned the EU killed Chewbacca, and that's true. That's true. That I don't know if you're familiar with that.
Yeah, they dropped the moon on him.
Exactly. That's a hero's death. That's what I've said forever. If Han Solo had to go, give him something like that, something heroic. And you see the character. He sacrificed himself for Han's son, and he's howling at the moon coming down. He's not just whimpering out like, "Son, I love you." So like what we got when Han Solo, we live as this character. We love him, even though the actor couldn't stand him. But that's another sermon I could go off on with you with that. But that's a hero's death. That's how you honor and the end of a great hero, a great character, not some kind of, I don't know, anticlimactic.
Yeah, I hear you.
Oh, yeah, it just, but yeah. So I do have a lot of passion for Star Wars. I just, I tried with some of the new stuff, but it's not for me. Or it's like Padme says, Anakin, you've just taken a path I can't go. Well,
Yeah, exactly.
that's bad when you use a Star Wars quote against Star Wars,
Right.
Mm.
It's like what am I trying to say here? Jesse was saying something about where he lives in Texas. So I just decided to take a quick gander at some of the area houses in the area. If this one that I'm looking at, if that's the actual price, I'm buying us a house.
Oh, there you go.
It looks like it's fairly new construction. The walls are ugly yellow color, and we'll have to probably paint those. But other than that, it looks really big. It's a 2-car garage. It looks like marble or granite countertops. It actually looks pretty decent.
Hey, nice. Go
4-bedroom,
for it.
4-bath for pretty decent price. If that's the actual price and not like, like a teaser price or something. So I just sent a note to inquiry.
But that's 4-bath. Wow, that's a lot of bathrooms. But hey, still, I don't think I've heard of 4 baths before.
Laredo, Texas. I think that is the is that the 33rd congressional district. Let's move there so that in what is it? Is it 4 years or 6 years? We can vote
for
out
Brandon.
Yeah, we can vote for Brandon if he runs
Brandon
again.
Herrera.
Exactly.
Yes, we would love to vote for Brandon Herrera. Yeah. Sorry, I got sidetracked with houses.
It's okay. I was going off on a sidetrack on a crusade about Star Wars, so it all works.
I dig it.
But it is. It
Absolutely.
just there was just so much about the original that, and even the year that brought people together. It just was something to rally around and to have fun with. Even the prequels, but just I don't know if you ever saw the reaction when they before Rise of Skywalker when they interviewed JJ I'll call him Jar Jar Abrams like everybody else does, but when they're interviewing the whole group of the actors and him there, and I was like, what was your reaction when this was over? And they all came up with those really awkward faces and stuff, but the most priceless one was Anthony Daniels with like his hands up like 40 years and this is what we got. It's like, that's it.
Yeah, exactly right.
Okay. We are at the top of the hour.
Yep.
So
it always flies,
It does,
yeah,
doesn't
it? Does, because I just looked at him like, we are at the top of the hour. Wow, that hour went by really fast. So let us make our last words. My words are not working tonight, I'm telling you. So, DadManWalking55, is there anything else that you would like to plug, either for yourself or your lovely wife?
I would like to plug. Well, I've got to watch Freeze. I'm glad you laughed at that one. I'm like, well, I would like to plug my wife's channel, I will say, because I
would like to plug my wife.
You said it. No one else said it. You said it.
Dude, come by my squirrel streams. I say all kind of stuff. When I use voice chat to people, we call it DadManese, and I'm always saying the most just random accident stuff like that pops up on my channel all the time, and it causes a lot of laughter and chaos when just don't even. It just comes out. So like I always say, what comes up comes out. So. But she's at 240 subscribers, and you really helped a lot, when she was on there. And at least get at least if people, get her 2 more subscribers to get her to 250.
Yeah,
because she is trying to monetize.
I would love to have her back on. And if one of my blue wrenches could please drop the link to Mrs. DadManWalking55 in the chat, that would be wonderful.
Exactly, because she worked hard. She wants to monetize. Where I'm in this at this point more for the hobby standpoint. Now, do I want subs? Yes. If you haven't sub, please sub. I'm at 655. I'd like to get to 700 next, and then go from there and see where it all goes. But see, she's in the attempt to try to monetize. She has Ko-fi, things like that, to be able to help support her channel. With the great donations, she was able to buy a laptop, so she's able to take us on the road streaming now at times. So, and that's good. But for me, I like to come have fun. I'm saying I'm a channel, no politics, no drama. We do squirrel streams where we just do random topics, a lot of it. And then some topics we get into, we do some movie reviews. The Myst and I reviewed Alien, the original, we saw in the theater for the first time recently. So really, I call it my channel more of a cornucopia of things. It just depends on what it is. It's the topics that strike me, random streams, Fortnite, things like that. And like I always say is don't fear college football. If I'm streaming live, come by and say hi, ask questions about it, or if we're talking sports in general, there's a lot of stuff about sports that goes beyond the normal sports ball. There's so much that's changing in the world of college sports. It's almost becoming professional sports now. I've had Culture Casino on a few times to talk about the business side of sports. I mean, it's almost like mercenaries now, because unlike the old days where a player would stay in the school 4 years, they're now bouncing year to year, place to place. So it's a lot different. And so there's a lot of stuff that comes up. There's a lot of storylines, coaches buyouts. So like I said, I try to make sports fun for the masses and go beyond just what you see on the field. So that and our Fortnite streams and our random squirrel streams tend to be crazy off the chain events. So just people coming together, having fun, talking about whatever. And of course, I might say funny stuff like plug him like that, just at random, and all for a laugh. But and of course the misses also. Thank you again, Netters and Troy, for all your support and everybody that's here.
I'm going to put up deleted scenes. Actually, put Mrs. Dadman's link in the chat, and I'm going to put it up in a second. But first, I want to read. Jesse Guajardo said, "If you want Brendan Herrera, you guys need to go to San Antonio."
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, well, and there's actually a whole incredible two-way community in and around San Antonio.
Yeah, it's like I've been to Houston. That's probably the only place in Texas I've been to. So, and Houston was nice, but it's like I don't really know any of the other little places in Texas, so. Of course, we don't want the big cities, so Dallas is out and that sort of thing. So we're looking for a nice little town that we can move to that's, not right by the border.
Yeah.
And, it's like, well, we're planning our escape from Illinois.
Nay. Well, if you don't like desert, if you like woods and stuff like that, give the Panhandle of Florida a chance, because if you like rural and trees and open property, that's a good area to be, and yet you're still within an hour of the coast of the Gulf, the beaches on the Gulf, but Panama City, Pensacola, and things like that. So,
okay. So Troy, tomorrow night over on Last Call with Troy Percelli, what are we to expect?
Yep. So despite my inability to stream on Monday because of the storm, we are going to continue with the plan of looking back on the franchise that spawned where we are now with Cobra Kai season 6 dropping tonight or today. It's already dropped. So we will be doing a retrospective tomorrow night on Last Call, looking back at the first 5 seasons of Cobra Kai, and kind of getting you up to speed to get you prepared for binge watching season 6, or at least the first half of season 6. So that's tomorrow night on my channel, 9 Central, 10 Eastern.
And then, let's see, Saturday, it's my turn for Retro Cinema. So we'll be watching the movie Dreamcatcher. So make sure you come over to my channel on Saturday 9 Central, 10 Eastern for that movie. I'm not going to go through everything for the rest of the week because there's a lot.
Probably the easiest way is I'm going to go ahead and drop the link to Deleted Scenes weekend update. You should head over there right after you leave here. Just drop the link there. He'll fill you in on all the deleted scene stuff.
Which is basically him 24/7.
Yeah, which is all weekend long. I think he's got a rewatch with Big Al tomorrow night. He's got all the things on the Sunday.
Yeah.
So go find out from him exactly all the details.
Yeah, we do have Age of Moomer for Geeky Geezers on Sunday, 8 Central, isn't it? 8 Central, Geeky Geezers?
Yes.
8 Central, 9 Eastern. And then the only deleted scenes one I'm going to mention is on Tuesday, Spark 1 and 21. We're going to be continuing
Both
our
of us,
Twin
yeah.
Peaks series.
Yeah.
And for Monday Night the Movies, are we going to try and do Cobra Kai again?
We're
Or
just
not Cobra Kai,
we're just gonna move the one that was aborted on Monday to this Monday. So
that totally works.
So we'll be going back and watching double feature of I almost said Cobra Kai, Karate Kid 1 and 2.
Okay. And then, let's see, there's nothing on Wednesday, so I guess I'm going through the week after all, even though I said I wasn't going to.
Yeah.
And then next Thursday, right here on Netters Network, my special guest will be Appian. So make sure you tune in for that.
Yeah.
Appian, cool. Another friend of mine out there. Great guy.
Like,
you'll love that.
Never had him on before, so I'm looking forward to it. So that ought to be loads of fun. So
he loves a lot of movies. He and I have done a few movies, especially Fifth Element. Okay. He's a really, really good guy. He loves a lot of movies.
Yeah, it's like, well, as I mentioned, we have over 1,000 movies, so I fully get that.
Yep.
So, any last words, Dadman?
I love the way you phrase that because I catch myself every time I do that because it's like I'm sending people to the gallows when they say that. So, but little humor. But no, I just thank you, Netters, as always, and for having me on. It's always a blast. I'd love to do it again sometime and have the misses on, maybe both of us together, and you can see us. You can see us in fine form together. But yeah, it's like I said, just. Thank you, and folks, thank y'all for your support for me and for the missus. It's been an interesting 2 years for both of us, but with great support from a lot of people, and that we've grown more to know more and more. You got a lot of people tell us what we mean to them for the streams, but listen, you guys being out there have lifted us as much, if not more, than anything we may have done for y'all. Y'all just don't know what y'all mean to us, and how many times we go in maybe in the stream and been down kind of going, but then by the time we're done, we're happy, energized. It just really, you help make our day brighter. And I just say thank you to everybody.
Oh, you're so very welcome. Troy, last words.
Yeah, no, I appreciate every single person that look, and they're dropping the comment. Together we grow. It really is so true. It's you guys all put the social in social media. You really do. And it's so much more rewarding hanging out with all of you. It's not about monetization. It's not about the numbers. It's about interacting with people around the country and around the world. It's really something I appreciate. So thanks, everyone.
Absolutely. And of course, you know what I always say. We can talk amongst ourselves, and that's all well, good, and fun. But it's so much more fun when you guys are joining us in the chat. And you're dropping your comments, questions, trivia, being goofy, whatever it may be. And it doesn't feel like we're separated by miles or continents in some cases. Hi, Sashi. It feels like we're all hanging out in the same room, enjoying each other's company and having a great time. Passing the popcorn, the chips, chatting. And you guys, you're not just our friends. You are our family. We love you guys, and we appreciate you so very much. You can be anywhere right now, and you're here. That's so encouraging. I love seeing y'all in our different streams, not just encouraging us, but encouraging one another. You guys are really wonderful. And most of y'all should know this word by now. Y'all are Osmo.
Yeah.
And it's like, for those of you who don't know what that means it's better than awesome. I have a story behind it, but I'm not going to tell it right now because I've told it before. But y'all
Can
are
I ask you a
Osmo.
quick question? Can I
Sure.
ask you a quick question? I noticed you're using the word y'all. Are you from the South?
No.
Well, listen, you deserve to come to Florida or Texas when you use the word y'all.
There you
worked
go.
on all
I
my-
lived in Kentucky for about a year, and it's like I picked up the y'all there, and it just kind of stayed with me.
Okay, I just had to ask because I'm sitting there. You're talking about moving to Texas or coming south. It's like you fit in great with that word. I had to give my northern friends a hard time about that. So
Oh, what's also interesting is I pick up accents real easy. So when I was in Texas, or not Texas, Kentucky, I got a southern accent that took me forever to lose once I got back to Illinois.
yeah,
And it was just too funny because my daughter kept going, Mom, why are you talking like that? Stop talking like that. Anyway,
sorry about that, but yeah, I had to ask.
no worries. I said, y'all are our family, and we appreciate you so much. So thank you for being here and encouraging us and each other in the chat. Thank you for being in all of our streams. I just love seeing your I say faces, but I mean your avatars, your names. I love seeing that there. You guys are just so wonderful. You are Osmo. So thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part of our lives. Thank you for being a part of our family. And until next time.